Hey, you guys, what's going on? It's Rick with Extra Toy Room, and I'm exhausted. I mean, you can tell by my voice, I am sounding super hoarse, and primarily because I've just spent the entire weekend, the last 4 days, at Megacon and working for CGC, and this year was crazy. Over 60,000 steps recorded, a lot of on my feet standing, a lot of talking to people, ton of autographs witnessed, and just an amazing all-together show, but at the same time, an all-together shit show. Um, let's get into it, shall we? So Thursday was insane. This is probably the busiest Thursday I've ever seen. A lot of comic witnessing, and primarily, like most people that do this show know, you really have to get your comics grade or comics, signed and witnessed as much as possible on Thursday and Friday, because you are just not walking through the convention on Saturdays. And Sundays, it's a crapshoot whether or not everyone's going to be there, just because of the fact that um, the artists like to leave early too, right? Like it's a long weekend for them as well. So Thursday was really busy considering. I mean, it starts at 2, goes till 9. Yeah, starts at 2, goes till 9. We're there at 1. We help get set up. We get the prep for all the new witnesses. We get the lay of the land, and then, off we go. So Thursday was actually a lot busier than most years, and there were a ton of regulars when it comes to the comic artist. A ton of regulars for the guests that show up to get witnessed. I ran into many of my previous year customers that I've given my cell phone number out to, because they're really cool. They're down to earth people. They're great people to work for. They're great people to witness for. So starting probably 2 weeks ago, my phone was blowing up. Hey, are you going to be at MegaCon? I've got my witness list already set up for who I want to see grading. And so Thursday was just, like I said, really insane. I think we did more books Thursday than we did Sunday by far. The convention center was set up totally different this year, and I think MegaCon did a really good job with it. So this year they had Artist Alley in one section. They put all the primary artists in a U. They had all your smaller artists, uh, lesser known or not known, um, like private label, personal, like artists, kind of dead center. Then we went into the opening of the like retailer queues, and right there is where they had like all of your big primary vendors, so all your big comic stores, all of CGC, the U.S. Army and their virtual setup, and all of those guys were the first probably couple hundred block of each of the thousands rows. So CGC was in row 9,000. Knights of Comics was 8,100. Like everybody was there in a very nice group setup. So if you were not a premier artist listed on Artist Alley for comic books, then you were a guest artist for a comic company. You were, sponsored by a comic company, and you were the first few sets of rows. So, like if you were going towards Artist Alley, you found CGC right there at the beginning at booth 9001. David Nakayama was right back, 2 rows down, 2 rows over, with the X-Men 97 and the X-Men animated voice actors, right? So really good layout. Again, all your major comic companies were right there at Artist Alley. And then they had all the like toy vendors, etc. That branched out all the way down the hall. And then you hit, they actually ended up doing Artist Alley, the creators, the vendors, and then we had the actual celebrity area. And celebrity area was, huge. There were just rows and rows of celebrities, probably 5 different rows of celebrities. And this year's major attraction were obviously the Lord of the Rings group. So you had the Hobbits, you had Orlando Bloom, you had Liv Tyler. Um, they had the crew from um, the Goonies there. So Corey Feldman, Joe Pantoliano, and I didn't get to meet him this year, and I totally forgot. um, they had Carl Urban. They had Mr. T. Like, this year's guest list was intense. Now, the biggest problem with the guest list was that um, you had all of like the movie guests and celebrities way in the back of the show, but you had Orlando Bloom, Liv Tyler, and John Cena behind Artist Alley in their own area in the food court. And that was really awkward because for Orlando Bloom, Liv Tyler, and John Cena, you had to turn in your QR code for a autograph ticket that showed like basically an autograph time to come back, or within a block to come and get your autographs done. And they had that redemption set up in the celebrity area. We're talking the length of the convention, and we were on the West Concourse, I think, this time. So we were in the biggest area that the convention hall offers, and that was a nightmare. So Thursday was a lot of just learning that layout, learning where all the artists were. I give props to CGC this year. CGC not only had the list of all the signing times, but they also went through and gave us a list of all the booth numbers for all the comic creators that were listed. Now, there were a handful of comic creators that were not listed, so we didn't know where they were at for the first 2 days. It was a game of hide and seek, especially with Zerdy. We had no idea where Zerdy was, and Creighton Klein. Couldn't find him. And Clayton has a huge booth. Like, he sets up shop. And Zerdy normally has a fairly big display as well. So to miss those guys for part of Thursday and Friday to figure out where they were at was a little like upsetting for some customers. But by the end of the day, we had to figure it out. So Thursday, again, getting the lay of the land, just understanding how big of a convention we were working with. Friday was your typical Friday. So Friday essentially kind of started our Comic-Con bingo, right? Like, there's always certain things that happens at every Comic-Con, and you're just waiting to see who it's going to be with. So things like a customer or artist smears an autograph with the paint markers, because a lot of these guys use these really thick paint markers for like the metal covers or the clear plastic Funko Pops, or certain books in general. They just paint with markers, or they do the remarks with a paint, and these things take forever to dry. And for a witness and for a guest, it can be nerve-wracking, because as witnesses, we are being drugged everywhere. This year, much like the years before, there is nowhere near enough witnesses for the amount of people that need our services to get comics witnessed so they could submit them for grading. And like I said, it's not anything different. These paint markers take forever to dry, and we're being pulled in every direction, so we can't stay with a customer through their whole journey, right? Because some of these customers, I kid you not, I had a couple people that I know, my regulars, and even some guys I've never met before, 50 to 100 books getting signed that they need witnessed, and some of these books that we're getting multiple autographs on. I mean, this has become big business at this point. Like, this is no longer a hobby. This is a side hustle of side hustles to pay for your hobby. So when we're waiting for these paint markers to dry, it's just a nightmare. So you always have, like I said, somebody that's rushing, that are like, hey, we know that you're trying to witness and get out of the way. They're also trying to hurry up and get it dry and maybe keep you for a little bit longer so that they don't lose you, and so that they can just quickly move through and get their witnessing so they can get their submissions done. We're trying to get them done because we want to move on to as many customers as possible. We don't want to stay with one individual the entire weekend. We just can't. So there's always somebody that doesn't let it dry, puts it in the bag, smears the autograph. Or there's always, they're kind of rushing, talking to the artist, and the artist, nicks a corner like with their hand while they're drawing, because maybe it was someone else's autograph that we just went from, like, literally artist next door to artist next door to artist. So they're just kind of sliding the book down the tables, and an artist smokes a signature. I watched a guy, my bingo card had a guy get it signed. He's sitting there holding the book, trying to dry it, and the book just sitting here, like this. He's kind of holding it, he's kind of looking at something, and the book, whoop, and just like that, straight on the pavement, onto the signature, screwed. There's many other of the, what I like to call the Comic-Con bingo items that, as rude as this is going to be, and I do not represent any company or while I'm doing these videos, but there's always the kid with, his mom. There's always the, there's always the kid that, or the collector, the autistic guy that's like very, I have to have every colored. It's got to be every color. Like, you've always got those guys. Like I said, you got the smeared paint. You got the guys that give the artist the wrong book. Like, hey, I love your work. I love you to sign it. That's not my book. Or, hey, I love your work. I'd love to have you sign it. I'm the support. I'm not the artist. I had a couple of those this year. Shockingly enough, we didn't have any drop damage, which has been historically something that happens. We've always had there's always that one person that has the overstimulated breakdown. We saw that on Saturday. So, no, sorry, Sunday morning. I'll have to come back to the story. Let's try to do this by day. So Friday pretty much filled up my bingo card. I saw at least one of all the typical Comic-Con tropes and, what's the word I'm looking for here? It'll come to me. But, so Friday was just, honestly, as busy as Friday was, and it was a really busy Friday, Friday went smooth. Everybody was being patient. Everybody was being really nice. All the customers were like, yeah, I'm trying to get this done today because I don't want to deal with it Saturday. I don't want to deal with it Sunday. And the crew themselves, like I said, we only had 12 witnesses split up between celebrity area, comics, and the outside, vendor booths. And we had a really great system going Friday. Friday, we were all really hustling. We had a group chat going between all the witnesses. So it was customer wearing black hat with blue shirt, meet at, Nakayama. Or, hey, I got 3 guys running to Snyder. He's starting to sign at noon. Line's getting busy. Someone check it out. Even the big guys, so Snyder, Jock, there weren't as many people getting as many people needing witness, many multiple witnesses, many multiple, hey, I'm doing 50 books with these 50 people. And there were a couple times where the line's like, yeah, all 100 people in this line are all getting witnesses. But again, Friday just ran smooth. Something about this Friday just felt easy. Now, I will say the thing that shocked me the absolute most this year on Friday was Mark Spears Monsters. So Mark Spears was launching an exclusive book for the con, and his line was non-stop. I think I ended up going over there for one customer, and I ended up there for 3 hours witnessing people because his was a line where it was like the first 20 people all needed a witness, small break, 20 more people needed a witness, like 3 hours. And Friday was smooth, but Friday was rough on my body. Like Friday, standing on that concrete in one place for 3 hours was brutal. But fun. Some of the celebrities started, we had some of the really big high-end celebrities in Friday, and my roommate, Chris, this was his first Megacon, so he'd helped me with Tampa Bay for JSA. And a JSA witness is a much different beast than a CGC witness. And the reason for it is JSA offers a very, I don't want to say similar, but I also don't want to say different. Like it's a different clientele. It's a different type of witnessing. It's a much easier process because the customers are leaving right then and there with the JSA product, with their sticker, with their QR code, whatever have it be. So unlike and Tampa Bay is not, for the last few years, has been a joke. Like, you've seen my other videos. Like I said, Tampa Bay has become such a smaller convention. It is much easier to support, operate, and run. So for my boy Chris, they made him my roommate, which helped us all out great. And like I said, this was his first Megacon. He actually sat in Celebrity Row. So Celebrity Row is a little smoother. It's a lot slower. It's a little easier to maintain because even though you have so many celebrities and the lines are so much larger, it's like I've got one here, and we're able to move people. We're able to negotiate the VIP line a little bit, where comic creators don't have a VIP line. So you can get 10 or 20 people to witness, let's say, let's pick Elijah Wood. You can get 20, 30 people for CGC witnessing for Elijah Wood done in minutes because we can negotiate the VIP lines. Where on the comic side, you don't have VIP lines. Some guys have one, some guys have 50, some guys have 1,000 comics. It's just such a different beast. But again, still ran really smooth. So Friday was 9 a.m. 9:30 was VIP, and then the show shut down at 7. So, 10 hours roughly 10 hours at Sally. And again, just smooth. Like, everybody was just cool. So there was still a lot of, hey, can you get me whatever? But Friday was great. Saturday was the clusterfuck from hell. Saturday started off butter. Like, we're like, okay, we already know where everyone's at. We know everyone's times. We've just survived Thursday and Friday. They've gone good. We know Saturday is going to be busy, but we also have a plan, right? So we strategically stashed people inside Celebrity Row because there's a handful of celebrities that were only coming Saturday and Sunday. Now, this is where things got complicated, and this is where things started to fall apart. So you had certain celebrities that were only there Saturday and Sunday. You had certain celebrities that were only going to be there Saturday. You take that, you add on all the comic guys, plus all the people that couldn't come during the weekday, Thursday, Friday, and you have just a flat out. So I initially got set up because I'm very comfortable inside Artist Alley. I'm very comfortable navigating multiple people, multiple celebrities, multiple comic artists, like dragging people through what we call the U this year, and doing like stop and go. So it's like, okay, I've got you want me to help you witness Tyler Kirkham, who's on this far right end. He's on the right side of the U. I'm walking with you to Kirkham, and like 6 people are at like Otley, or I've got a guy at I got a guy at Spears, whatever. I can stop right there, do that witness, and keep moving, and we can hit a bunch of people at the show. So I'm like, I'll do Artist Alley, which now, because of Liv Tyler, Orlando Bloom, and John Cena doing early Saturday morning signings, I'll run their 3 rows. I'll run their booths too, because really they're sitting in one line right next to each other, and because we can use the VIP, we can walk you into the VIP line, go through VIP, boop, 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 boop. I was able to go in and witness for a group of people, Orlando Bloom, Liv Tyler, and John Cena, in under 30 minutes, probably about 20 to be honest. It was like, hey, it's the 10 a.m. signing. We're going to get right there. We're going to go right to this booth. They all wanted autographs. Walk right through their autographs, witness, walk through their autographs, witness, walk through their autographs, and it witnessed. Boom, 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 boom. By 11 o'clock, I got through everybody in the first signing of those 3 individuals, and I was back in Artist Alley. And that right there is a Comic-Con 101, and I've said this on multiple Comic-Con reviews. If there is someone you want to, as a celebrity, there's someone you want an autograph for, that should be your priority for whatever day you are arriving, okay? And remember this, because this is where the story is going to go crazy. So I've always said, if I want a celebrity autograph, because celebrities are not guaranteed. Every comic convention tells you, we do not guarantee you a time, or we do not guarantee that even though you bought this ticket, you are going to get to meet your celebrity and get your autograph and get your photo op, because the celebrities are subject to change, and they may all of a sudden have agreed and contracted to do the Comic-Con, but they got picked up for a movie, and that movie's going to pay a lot more than this Comic-Con. They're not staying, or they'll break the contract. They'll spend the $5,000, $10,000, whatever it costs to break the contract, because they're about to make $1 million on a movie. $10,000 at that point ain't nothing but a freaking cheeseburger to us. Okay, so always, first thing in the morning, I wanted to meet a celebrity, and Orlando Bloom is the first I'm talking about. You want to meet Orlando Bloom, you do not wait halfway through the day Saturday to go get your ticket to meet Orlando Bloom, because by that time, you're screwed. Okay, so Saturday's super busy. Saturday has all the kids, it has all the teeny boppers, it has all the adults with full-time jobs that can't get off Thursday and Friday. So you have just the madhouse. You cannot walk through the aisles at any Comic-Con on a Saturday. It is just that crowded. So here's what happened. Saturday morning, things were good. They got all the celebrities in their spots. All the celebrities did their opening morning autographs. Most of them were on time. Orlando Bloom, Liv Tyler, John Cena, they were all on time. They were ready to rock and roll at 10 a.m. They normally sign, most celebrities have like an hour and a half, 2-hour window first thing in the morning to get autographs knocked out. Then they start their panels. They start their morning photo ops. Then they come back. They do their afternoon signing sessions. Then they have their afternoon photo ops or afternoon panels. And then they have their evening photo ops. And then they go home. Okay. Well, I guess everything broke down around 11 o'clock on that side of the house. So Orlando Bloom, Liv Tyler, John Cena all did their morning signatures. They went to do their morning photo ops, and things started to fall behind. And then they were scheduled for their panels, and things fell behind. By time the afternoon by the time the afternoon signature slots were happening, they were extremely behind. And that caused a massive avalanche and ripple effect. Okay. So again, the con opened at 9:30 for VIP, general admission 10, con closes at 7. I'm out doing my witnessing. I'm out doing my things. I'm out hitting artists, and I'm out sending texts, get here, get there. I'm over at Celebrity Row witnessing for Carl Urban, which, by the way, I also was able to get an autograph, because while I'm witnessing for customers, what I will typically do is I will talk to someone that I'm witnessing with, and I'm like, hey, yes, I can't stand in line with you, but I will witness for you. You can text me when you get up there, or I'll be walking this little stretch, so you're going to have to wave for me. Once you're up closer to the line, wave, I'll come over. And by the way, if it's okay with you, I'm going to use your slots to also get my autograph that I paid for. And 99% of the people I'm witnessing for are really cool with that. They don't mind me using part of their time as they're walking up to say hello to get my item autographed with them. They'll normally let me in front of them. I get my item in, autograph. They're right behind me. I witness, and everyone wins, right? So Carl Urban was supposed to be there at 3. My customer's like, hey, listen, we've split up, to hit both photo ops and autographs. I got someone holding my spot, blah, blah, blah. I'm texting this guy, and I'm like, hey, how we doing over there? He's like, Carl Urban is an hour and a half behind. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? By 4:30, he'd already slipped past his autograph session, which he hasn't come back for, into one of his photo op sessions, which is now slipped into his dual dread judges photo op, which is now slipped into his panel, which they had to cancel. He didn't get back to do the afternoon signing till almost 5:15. And the entire convention was behind schedule. Like, Fan Expo oversold everything. And so, yeah, Carl Urban that was behind signing. So by the time my guest got a hold of me and said, hey, look, we're walking up, it was almost 6 o'clock. And I'm like, wow, okay. So I go meet them, get their witness. And Carl was one of the few celebrities that was straight signature for an 8x10, $100. Signature on a premium item, so anything other than an 8x10, $130. If you wanted his character name, either from the boys, from any other whatever, it was an additional $56. If you wanted, well, it's like 55, and then with the taxes, 56, whatever. If you wanted a quote, it was another $120. So to get Carl Urban, a quote from Mortal Kombat, Johnny Cage, that was a $300 autograph. I wasn't paying that. I wasn't. I was like, I'm okay with just Carl Urban for $130. And my guest was getting a boys comic signed. He was like, I'm just okay with. Well, he didn't understand what a premium meant because they did all their pre-orders online. So he bought a $100 autograph, not realizing they weren't going to sign his comic book, so he had to pay an extra $30. Knock on wood. Luckily, they were like, give us the $30 at the table. We'll upgrade you to premium. Move along. Cool. So the guy handed him $30. They were doing the comic. He's like, I just need Carl Urban. Well, because Carl was so behind, and I'm going to tell you right now, this guy's a rock star. This guy was one of those celebrities you are like, that was a pleasure to meet. Carl realized that things were bad. He understood that people were cranky, that they were tired. He was tired. You could see it in the guy's face. He was just like, he still took time. He's like, hey guys, man, this is a cool book. Thanks for loving my show. Thanks for loving the boys. And he's talking to my customers. And because he didn't know, like, and you can never tell, like, who's going to be, religion, whatever. He was just like, oi, his character name, Carl Urban. And by time my customer got done, just saying how grateful he was, he realized he wrote oi. He's like, whoa, the quote's oi cunt. Can you write cunt on there? So Carl's actually filling out my poster. And Carl's like, I mean, if you're okay with it, oi cunt. And my customer's like, my daughter calls me a cunt. She's 3 years old. It's her new favorite word. And Carl starts cracking up. He's like, that's a great word for a 3-year-old to know. So he signs it, oi cunt, character name, Carl, shakes hands, off to the races. Hilarious. And while at the same time he's writing on my Mortal Kombat poster, he's like, it's showtime! Exclamation point, draws it, like outlines it, writes, Cage, Carl Urban. And he's like, oh, let me fill that in for you. He fills it in. He's like, I really hope you're going to like the movie. I'm like, I saw the last trailer. I was kind of worried. I think you're going to be a great Johnny Cage. Guys like fist bump, have at it. Carl Urban was amazing, okay? Flat out. Just amazing. So I get done with them. We're like, okay, the show's only got an hour left. We're now sending out notices. We're shutting the booth down early. Make sure anybody that's doing submissions, they get everything over to us by 6:30 because we're going to shut down, do express, because we know Sunday is going to be just submission Sunday. But the entire booth is just going to be packed 24/7 the entire time we're there Sunday, just getting submissions from the whole weekend. So we're telling customers what's up. And we go back to, most of the witnesses start to conjugate back to the booth because about 6:30, all the artists disappear. Like Artist Alley goes dark because Fan Expo basically bought out Universal for all the vendors, all the artists, all the people. Like the Megacon people got free entry into Universal, and they were doing shuttle buses. So the con basically went dark at 6:30. Half our staff left, most of the artists left. Some of the celebrities left. Like celebrities were going to Universal too. So the con was like, oh yeah, we've only got like half an hour left. So by 6:30, we're like, it's nothing to do. And though a lot of people are still like, hey, there's our artists that are still here. We still need witnesses. We're still a little busy. By about 6:45, we're back at the booth. All the witnesses are just like, and I'm like, where's Chris? And they're like, I don't know. I haven't seen Chris. Where is Chris? Chris, where you at, brother? Bro, I'm with Orlando Bloom. This is nuts. All caps. Oh shit. Yo, there's something going on Celebrity Row, at the Orlando Bloom section because it was outside of Celebrity Row. I was like, Chris apparently's got a lot of like witnesses still at 6:30. I'm gonna go over there and see if I can help him knock things out. I kid you not, we get past Artist Alley into the food court, walking to where they have those 3 celebrities. There's gotta be 700 people in this area. And my eyes like just bugged out. I'm like, what the fuck? So I just haul straight through the crowd, cut through, and they got like tables at this point set up to block you from getting into the lines and the queues. And they got a whole line of staff. I mean, you just got staff wall to wall. And I'm hearing people, we want a refund. We want a refund. Fuck you. We'll burn this place down. Like losing their, I'm hearing like riot type shit. Okay. So now I'm like, yo, I'm kind of giggling because I'm like, this is about to get buck wild. We're going to end up on YouTube tonight. So I'm running up to the front of the line. I got my boy Chris there, and he's got like 10 people just queued up, huddled around him in the line, in the VIP. And I'm like, what's going on? He is like, they are 4 hours behind all of their schedules. He's like, I've got people up here right now that had noon tickets that haven't moved. And I'm like, what happened? They're like, first off, someone pulled the fire alarm. So the entire area was evacuated. Then they turned around and because the panels and everything got knocked out, because where they put these guys, the panels, they mismanaged where people needed to line up. So they had half the crowd for the panel in one room, the wrong room. They had almost whole fill panel room for people that weren't told where to go incorrectly. And they were trying to justify fix that. They basically did kind of like two panels from the sounds of it. Or they did one panel and just started really late because they had to deal with an angry mob. They couldn't get in. They got told to go to the wrong place. People that didn't know they needed tickets. Like, it was just a massive clusterfuck. So I'm like, okay. Now at this point, it's 6:30. John Cena's still signing. Liv Tyler's still signing. And Orlando Bloom is still signing. Now, Orlando had, like, apparently a break. Or, like, he just was like, I got to get a break, whatever. So he just stopped. Like, he disappeared, wasn't signing. And Liv was back, and Liv was knocking people out. So the 5 guys, well, I said 10, but it was really about, it was a group of 10, but it was only like 5 guys giving signatures. But they were doing dual signatures. They were like, we want to do Liv Tyler on this book, and we want to do Elijah Wood on the, or not, Orlando Bloom on this book. And then they had some Funkos they wanted to do same way, right? So Liv's line's moving, and they're like, hey, can we, have a couple of us go jump in that line, take all the Liv items, and get autographed? We're like, if you got the stickers, and now that there's 2 witnesses here, I'll go over, take these guys to the Liv Tyler line, we'll blast them through, we'll get them signed, we'll come out, and we'll give everything back, and you guys can do Orlando, and we'll call it a day. Well, earlier in the day, Chris was negotiating essentially that we could skip the VIP line, so we just be the next person in line. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I was like, you see this entire crowd screaming, yelling. These guys have all been here for hours. At this point, Chris and this group has actually been stuck in line for almost 2 hours. So I'm like, you guys have already been stuck for 2 hours with all the people behind you in these VIP lines that have been stuck for 2 hours. And you think I'm going to attempt to skip this line at Liv? I'm like, we're not doing that. I was like, it's unacceptable. It would not be fair. I was like, however, that line is moving so quickly, and we have negotiated that we can get into that VIP line that's moving very quickly. And they were only letting VIPs in at that point for Liv. I was like, we're just going to get in the back of the line. We're going to blast through it. They're going to be done. Like, Orlando's not even here. And the guy was kind of freaking out. I was like, I'm not going to get it signed by both because I'm like the next person. I'm like, I know you're the next person, but he's not here. You're not moving. I was like, in worst case scenario, I will get my happy self back in this line, and I will get it. We will get you both. Don't worry. And we had a little bit of a fight because they were, Chris and the guy was like, yeah, but Chris can jump the front of the line and Chris is going to jump. I'm like, I'm not doing that, and I'm not going to allow you to do that. I'm like, I'm not letting you now risk. Now, at this point, it's already 7 o'clock. The con is closed. Our boss at CGC is calling us saying, okay, what are you guys doing? What's the plan? And we're like, all these guys are coming back Sunday. All these guys are going to submit Sunday. We're going to bag and tag them. We're going to guarantee these witnesses because these guys have been in line for 3+ hours. We're going to take care of the people that want your service. We're willing to stay past the time, however long it takes. Chris and I have this. So our boss is like, Godspeed. So I'm like, that's the deal. I said, your choices are you get in line with me at the back of the VIP line. We blast through Liv Tyler, or you don't get Liv Tyler. And they finally, it was like, okay, we're going to do this. We want both. So I get 2 of them out of the line. We get in the back of the VIP. We blast through Liv Tyler. And I've already met Liv Tyler this morning, right? Again, I told you I did live in Orlando. I will tell you a few things. Liv talks very, very dainty. It was so nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Very soft, very, very, very dainty. Very dainty, very soft. almost impossible to hear. But my God, is she still gorgeous. Now, I know Liv Tyler from Aerosmith music video days. Crazy, crying. Her and Alicia Silverstone, teenage heartthrob. They were my, like, hot girls when I was growing up, right? Liv still looks beautiful. Very sweet. So we end up getting in the back of the VIP line. Her line was flying. Their team was doing really well. I stand there. I'm like, I'm witnessing. They're like, yep, saw you earlier. So my guy gets all the stuff down. He's got like 5 items he's getting signed. They move him through. They pick all the colors. They get him all set up. And my witness was the last guy in the line. Was supposed to be. And he had all the stuff. And we as CGC witnesses are not supposed to touch people's personal property for the exact reason that just happened. I pick up his Funko Pop. I was like, you got your hands full. They want us out of here. I grab the pop. I go to I'm holding onto the pop. I'm like, I got you guys. And she signed it. So you know how a Funko Pop has got like the glass window, right? So let's say this is the glass window. You can see the pop. So she autographs her name on the front, and he asked for a quote down the side, and he wanted it in green. So the pop's sitting like this, and I'm holding it basically on the 2 cardboard pieces, so I'm not touching the quote or the autograph. I walk out the booth with them, and I don't have enough hands. I can't use my hands at this point to lift up the divider bars, so I go to slide under it, and when I do, I put my knuckle right through the quote. Smeared it. And at this point, I'm shaking. I'm like, she's leaving right now. So I was like, shit, and I just yell, shit! Duck underneath the line again, and I'm like, you just saw me and the customer come through. You know this is a client's product. I just put my thumb through it. I need it redone. The guy's like, I'm not their handler. They are leaving. Get in there and ask. So I walk back in, and I'm behind one other guy that was getting an autograph fixed because he did similar. And they're like, what the hell are you guys doing? We're leaving. So the one guy's like, I smudged it. They're like, get over here. I go, I smudged it. I was like, it's a client's product. I said, if this was mine, I would have eaten this and let you guys go because I know you need to leave. I was like, unfortunately, this is for a client. My company's responsible for it. I was like, please, can we fix it? Lady hands me the hand sanitizer. We napkin it. We wipe it off. I forget what the quote is. So I get up the line. I'm like, I'm sorry. I just don't know Lord of the Rings as well as I should, Miss Tyler. Thank you so much. Can you please fix this? She's like, what did I just write? Luckily, her handler was like, if you wish to have him, you come get him. Like something like that, right? She's like, oh, yes, that was it. And she starts to, I'm like, green. Then she looks at me. She's like, really? I'm like, sorry. And I'm like, I'm physically like, I'm shaking. And that is not typical for me because I'm very normal. Like, shit hit the fan. I already have a plan how to solve. We got it. It's going to be fine. It's going to be calm. And now I'm shaking because I'm like, not only did I just screw this guy's product up, she is leaving. And now I'm inconveniencing her to fix my screw up. And they're trying to go home because now at this point, it's 8:30 at night, okay? So we're an hour and a half past the con time, and I'm now inconveniencing them to leave. So knock on wood, she was very accommodating, took care of us, and I was able to get it fixed. So with that said, I walk right back over. As soon as I do, Orlando Bloom signing. Cool. Here's your fucking pop. Give the guy the pop. At this point, I'm not cutting anybody in a line. Chris is already in there doing the witnessing for Bloom. I've already met Bloom. And by the way, not only does the guy he looks skinnier in real life, but he looks like just like he does like when he was Will Turner, man. Like he had a little scruff going, had a little like kind of like the goatee thing going, a lot more gray. But dude was cool, man. I mean, he was just awesome. Like it was really great to meet him. He was saying hello to everyone, saying things. Again, very personable. I loved having the experience to see and talk to him for a second. So I bust over to the exit area. Chris brings them all out. Everyone's like, we did it. We got it. Oh my gosh, you guys are the greatest. And we're like, yeah, we got y'all. It's cool. So we just sit at the tables. We're all taking a rest. And people are still screaming and yelling. And they're still trying to get in. Liv Tyler's cut off. No one else is getting to see Liv. So now there's still like 400 people trying to see Orlando. And I run into one of our other facilitators. And they're like, yeah, we're using our guest badges. We're getting these guys in. So they're pushing like 20 people through VIP to get them all signed. We get everybody taken care of. We leave. We're out. We got to get out of the crowd. Like everyone's bagged and tagged. We're good to go. We dip. Chris and I make it back to the hotel at 8:55. We run into some of our crew. We join tables. Our boss shows up. He joins. Big table going and talking about everything. We see the facilitators come back at just before 10 o'clock, and they go, "We just left. They were still signing, and we found out the only reason they just left is the sheriff showed up and forced everyone to leave." So there were probably, they said there was roughly about 250 people that did not get their autograph from Orlando Bloom that basically were SOL. They were just pushed out. And from what it sounded like, Orlando stayed that entire time. Orlando stayed until the sheriffs pushed him out. So give props to that guy. He was, again, he was a trooper, and the celebrities this year were anything but amazing. They were just pure, unadulterated, like, for the fans. I mean, this was the best celebrity year I've ever had with for witnessing and at the comic convention. Uh, funny tidbit about Friday. Friday, same thing. So Chris got stuck with a customer for CGC at John Reyes Davis. And if you've heard my other convention stories about John, John is a great guy. He loves to play with his guests. He loves to take time for his guests. He loves to give his guests hell. And Friday, what had happened was we turned in all of our stuff because, like I said, we were shutting down. So they collected all of our bags, and Chris got a text from one of his customers like, "Hey, I need your witness at the booth for this card." And CGC's like, "We're not doing any more witnessing. We're done. It's after 7." And Chris is like, "Man, I'll go tell him. I'll go break the news. He's not seeming to get it. The texts aren't going through." I was like, "I'll go with him in case he needs a senior, like whatever." So me and Chris haul over there. And had I thought about it, I was like, we could have taken a bag and board. We could have tagged him. He could have come back Saturday. So I get all the way over there, and I'm like, "Yo, let the guy know if he's getting John signed, stand there, you witness him, bring him back towards me. Let's meet in the middle if I can't get it back there fast enough." So at this point, I'm on my phone. "Jason, I need a bag, a pen, and a board. We're going to bag and tag him. We're moving." Jason's like, "Got you." So we're relaying at this point. I got Chris on his way to see John to pick this customer up, do the witness. I'm busting ass through the food court, going through the vendor area to get to CGC booth, and my boss at CGC's got a bag, a board, and a card, and he's on his way to me. So we're doing this like the CGC witness relay, right? So Jason meets me, gives me my stuff. I flip around, I haul back over. By the time I get over, Chris and the customer are just at John's thing, and I'm like pouring down sweat. And the guy's like, "You guys are amazing." And I'm like, "Dude, this is how we roll, right?" So I do the handoff. Chris is filling it all out. Chris is getting the guy bagged and stuff. And John's daughter is one of his handlers. And John is like, he's still got like 10 people. He's like, "You know what? We're going to do this. You can't make me leave." And I'm cracking up. I'm like, "Dude, John is a legend." I'm like, "This guy is one of the just most personable Ford fan celebrities I've got to meet." And his daughter's smiling. She's like, "Thank you so much." I'm like, "No, he's really, like, the guy is a legend. He is pure, what was the word that I used? Pure professional, right? Pure professionalism. Like, he's just, the guy's top notch." So his daughter was like very like, "Thanks for the compliment." Of course, I meant every word of it. Like, John's just great. The customer was thrilled, head over heels. So, Chris is like, "Oh my God, I can't believe we got that done." Like, and again, this is Chris's first Megacon. So the kind of things that we end up doing, that kind of like time bending, as you will, to get things to work for the customer. And his customer service skills are top notch. He's very extrovert when it comes to customer service. He's got a very good customer service voice, demeanor. So like Chris is like, "Yeah, this, like, when I'm not doing software development, this is my good side hustle." And on the flip side, for me, I'm a sales guy. I'm a customer service guy. The tech stuff is just what I'm good at. That gets me really good into good places. Like this is what I do. Like, I live for this kind of shit. So Friday, Saturday, just wild. And like I said, Megacon didn't close down until basically the show closed at 10 or 9, 7. They didn't get everyone out of the building until almost 10 p.m. on Saturday. So by Sunday, I can't talk. My voice is hoarse as all get out. My jaw is completely sore because I'm just chewing gum, consistently, because the last thing you want is cotton mouth, a dry mouth, bad breath when you're talking with people, when you're talking with celebrities, when you're talking with the staff. Like, that is your number one enemy. So I'm going through packs of Dentine like they're just crack, dude. I'm just gnawing on it. So by Sunday, I'm like, okay, the things we know about Sunday. Sunday is the last minute celebrity pickups. You know, the guys that, like, they didn't do their particular celebrity. They held a celebrity off because they weren't like their number one priority, but there's somebody they still wanted to meet. And if they got all their comics done or they got all their other celebrities done, they do like the cleanup, right? So I'm like, I know I'm going to be in Celebrity Row a lot on Sunday. I also know that Sunday is commission pickup. So a lot of your comic collectors and your big time, like your core comic enthusiast, they show up for Thursday, they go to their artist, they pay for a commission on Thursday, because a lot of artists stop taking commissions like Friday morning because they get so many requests that they're not able to complete them throughout the Comic-Con. And a lot of the comic artists will work on a commission in between signing, like they'll sign a couple autographs, do commissions, they go back to the hotel room, do the commissions. So we know that Sunday's a big commission pickup day, and much like the celebrities, it's what, like I said, what I call cleanup, right? It's you weren't the number one person on my list. You weren't my biggest priority. If you're free, if you're here, if you're still around, if you still got some books, whatever, I will get your autograph. So Sunday was kind of a really mixed bag on being like calm but busy. So it was a busy calm. The problem was, for instance, we still had a lot of people that still wanted CGC witnesses that just weren't able to get it done. So we were still in really high demand, shockingly, on Sunday. And to add to this, my dad's like, hey, I'm on vacation. My wife Susan wants to come over and meet Helen Hunt, and I want to get an autograph from one of the K-pop demon hunters to put at my crafts booth because there's a lot of demand for their product. And I would love to show off that I got an autograph from one of the K-pop demon hunters. I was like, well, great. I can get you into the VIP line. It'll let you move in quicker. We'll move around. The problem was, he told me this on Saturday. I knew this was happening Saturday. One of my clients, Mike, was like, hey, I need Sunday, Peter Cullen and Frank Welker, because I need to get these books signed. He's like, I bought for Sunday. And I was like, yeah, we're going to do it Sunday morning first thing. I basically cross-contaminated. I had double booked. I couldn't be in two places at once, though I could have if I'd have realized where Peter and Frank were. They were just right down, 3 spots down from K-pop, and I was going to be able to handle both, and I didn't realize it. So I'm standing in line. I'm working on the paperwork for my dad. They did not let us into the VIP line. They made us go to the VIP queue to be moved to the VIP line, which was literally, dude, from me to that door was the 2 different lines. I was like, there's no reason for this. Let us in the line. They wouldn't do it. They started giving us a little bit of hell, and by this time, I'm over it. Okay? I've got people, so I'm in this line. I've got people like, hey, Daphne Keen's here. I need a witness for Daphne Keen. I'm like, I can't leave. Like, I've got a witness already. Like, I've got to get you someone there. So I'm blowing up the group chat. Like, I need somebody for Daphne Keen. I need somebody for Peter Cullen. Like, we're at this point, and we're scattered, right? Some of our witnesses have already left. We had one witness basically cash out because he went to Universal with the crew and got sick, aka was probably hungover. So we're down one witness there. We got a couple witnesses leaving early because we flew them in from Pennsylvania because we didn't have enough in Florida. Like we were definitely low staffed. So turn around, and my client Mike was like, "Hey, they kicked me out of line because I couldn't get a witness over here." And by this time, we just finished the K-pop line, so I got my dad out of the way, and I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Dude, I will come over." He's like, "Bro," he's like, I'm gonna miss my signing events. And I'm like, no, you're not. I was like, here's what's going to happen. I don't know what time Peter and Frank are going to get here because they're doing panels now. I was like, give me your product, give me your stickers. I have 4 other people that are waiting for Peter right here behind you that want CGC. I was like, you entrust me with the product. We're going to have them help us with getting your witnessing if you don't get back in time. I'm not supposed to do this. I'm not supposed to handle product, but Mike knows me. I know Mike. I was like, you're good with me. I'm good with you. Like, I will hold your product. You know it's not going to get damaged. You're not going to hold us responsible. I was like, you go do your experience. You go meet Jim Lee. You go meet because he had, I think it was the Jim Lee and Frank Miller experience. I'm like, you go do your experience, you go do your thing. You're not going to lose your place, and you're not going to miss Peter and Frank because we're going to have you handled. And of course, one of the reasons Mike's one of my clients, because Mike's like, I appreciate, I love, you're my guy. And I'm like, Mike, you're always really good to CGC. You are good business with CGC. You're a good person. You're not like, you never get short with me when I tell you I can't help you because we're so busy. I got you. So in the meantime, I got his books, and I've got people just yanking on me. I need you right now. I need you right now. I need you right now. So we're all bouncing around. I'm just staying in Celebrity Row at this point. I'm like, look, I've got Pink, I got Frank, I got Peter, I got the K-pop, I got Daphne. I got this row of Celebrity Aisle. I'm staying. So I'm walking around with his books, doing that, yada, yada, yada. And finally, Frank and Peter come back. So I start witnessing for all the people. And again, at this point, the staff is being really short about us, about letting us move people in the VIP, and they've closed VIP lines off. So mostly, they were limiting the VIP lines. So I'm like, listen, I'm working with the staff. I'm like, here's the deal. I was like, I know you guys don't want us jumping in front of your VIPs. I was like, I'm not trying to get in front of your VIPs. I was like, but for these like 6 people here, here's the deal. I was like, when they're doing multiple witnesses, we're going to have them stand. If they do not have a VIP ticket, we will have them stand in one Gen Pop line. And then you let me bring them into the VIP for the next character on this row so we can just knock it out. So the staff was like, you know what, we can agree to that. So I'm witnessing for all these people. I've got I got a set of clients in Frank. I got a set of clients in Peter. And they're like, but I need the other. So I'm like, good. And I'm literally standing on the VIP line for both. So I'm like, cool. Swap, put them both in VIPs. They get moved back up next. So we start really moving the Peter and the Frank lines. Same thing at the K-pop. We move all 3 of those lines real cool. I'm over there doing back and forth for Daphne. Really cool. Mike finally hits me up. He's like, I'm done. I'm like, cool. I was like, you were actually up next for Frank anyhow, so get over here. So he gets to meet Frank. I actually got to meet Peter for him. And a buddy of mine years ago got me Peter and Frank's autographs because I missed them at the Megacon the year before. So I already had Peter and Frank witnessed, JSA certified on my wall at home, but now I get to meet Peter Cullen. And it was really funny because you're watching him, and a lot of people brought up those Transformer voice changer helmets that you could buy from GameStop for like $100. Dude, Peter's up there playing with it like a little kid. Every time when he gets one, he's like, I just love this. He's like, you flip up the visor, it makes noise. And he's like, I'm Optimus Prime. And then he's like, roll out. So Peter's having fun making the voice, making the name. I'm over here fanboying out, okay? Because I'm just like, Peter Cullen is playing with the Transformer helmet, making the Transformer noise, and then saying, I'm Optimus Prime and Optimus voice. You can't ask for just a cooler in-person life experience, right? Like, you just can't. That's just awesome. The next coolest thing was to have him record your voicemail outgoing sound. So getting to watch that and then getting to talk to him and just tell him how much he meant as an 80s kid growing up watching Transformers and how iconic his voice was, not only in Transformers, but in G.I. Joe, but in Thundercats. But, like, he was the voice of my childhood, and to tell him how appreciative I was that I got the chance to finally meet him in person and not just walk by him. He was like, I'm so glad my fans still love me, and I love my fans for that. Like, dude was great. So that was that Sunday. A really weird experience I had Sunday was I had this individual, and again, I kind of was joking, trying to be sarcastic, but I had this individual that was autistic, and you could tell just by the way, the fact that he couldn't make eye contact. And there's a stereotype for a reason, right? And I don't say that as the negative connotation, but stereotypes exist because it is just that, a stereotype. Autistic people, they don't necessarily make eye contact. They have a very monotone voice. Like if you think about Rain Man, right? Jeopardy, definitely Jeopardy, definitely 362 toothpicks. Like, and I'm not making light of it. I'm not making jokes. I'm not making offense to anyone with autism here. I'm going through this for a second because if you've never really interacted truly with an autistic individual, you may not know how to take things. But at the same token, this interaction for me was very weird, and I'm going to say why. Because I don't have a problem with autistic people. We deal with a lot of autistic people at the con. Like there are a lot of people, they autistic people tend to focus on one thing, right? So like the joke a lot of time is like they like trains. They can hyperfixate on a color or a product, and they can tell you everything about it. A lot of the autistic people that we meet here have like a favorite comic character, so they like to meet all of the creators or artists of that character. So they will have like 4 or 5 books, and it's like I had Optimus Prime, my favorite guy, blah, blah, blah. So, but this individual was a little bit different. This individual seemed to have a fixation as a fixation for naked comic art. And this is kind of why it's a little weird for me, because it's like I'm not like, we've all been to Pornhub. Okay. Listen, I have no problem with looking at naked boobs. I have no problem with, there's hentai, right? There's cartoon naked sex videos. Like, I get that. Those things, as they exist, are not a problem. I find it awkward when you're at a Comic-Con with families and children, and I get it, these artists are professionals, right? And these artists do draw these naked characters. I get that. But this particular client, that was his hyperfixation. So he's like, hey, he come up, he's like, excuse me, sir, are you free? And he couldn't talk, and he was very, I have to pick up a lot of my comic books that I've had sketches done this weekend, and I need to pick them up for submission. And that is how he spoke. And I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, can you please follow me to Tyler Kirkham, and so we can pick up books? I'm like, sure. Let me start filling out paperwork. We are submitting very early. We're going to close submissions off early, so we do need you please to go back to the booth to submit as quickly as possible today, preferably before 2 o'clock, because there's just not going to be enough time to get done before 5. Yes, I'm fully aware and I understand, and I have been doing my submissions throughout. I have the QR. I'm good to. Okay, cool. How many books you have? 25 or 26? And at first I'm like, you don't know if you had 25 or 26? But I'm like, screw it. If you got 25 Kirkhams, this will be an easy, like, we'll just count them out. We'll have at it. And then but he didn't have 25 Kirkhams. He had 2 Kirkhams. And I'm like, oh, so it's like 25 or 26 across multiple artists. Okay. He gets the books, and it's this character, giant boobs, big nipples, almost completely butt naked. And I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, the artwork was done really well. It was done very stylish, but I'm like, okay, cool. Then he's like, okay, let's go. And he names off all these artists. I'm like, well, okay, let's keep going. And because he's autistic, he basically was like, I've already mapped out where they're at, and I'm going to hit them in this travel pattern he's decided in his head. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to try to break that. Let's keep going. So, puppy, please. So I follow him to the next artist. The next artist isn't there. The next artist next to that person is like, hey, I forgot your sketch. I couldn't get it completed yet. And apparently he's bought many from this particular female artist, and she's like, will you be at this con or this con? He's like, yes, I'll be at that second con. We can make it up there. That is no problem. It is okay. We will meet at this time. So then we walk back, check on one artist. The guy's not done yet, not back yet. He's like, okay, I think we'll just go out to we'll start the next path. So I follow him out. Next artist, he picks up 5 books from this artist. It's all the same character on the same cover, and it's full nude, like full frontal nude, shaved. And I'm just like, did we have to go into that detail? And again, it's not that nudity bothers me. It's not like I've never seen porn, but it is awkward. It is awkward to be like, hey, can you draw and or hand me this signed naked photo at a Comic-Con? It's just weird to me. It's just not my thing. If you would to communicate with the artist, buy it from their website, have it privately shipped, I think a little more tactful, okay? I find it very tasteless that you're doing this at a Comic-Con. But again, the artist is getting paid. They're okay with it. The customers want, fine. I just find it tasteless. So we make the round of all of his list, and every single book he picks up is a full nude comic drawing, whatever. So we finally get back to the last guy he still hasn't picked up from, and we're like, he's like, do you know where he's at? I have these 5 books, and this is the female artist that he's already been talking to. They're like, oh yeah, he already finished for you. Were these it? He's like, yes, those are those. Fill out his book, send him on his way. So that was probably the worst interaction I had the whole con. After that, had to meet at Snyder's booth, and we had a whole thing at Snyder's booth, and that was just really, again, oversold tickets and trying to get everybody submitted through. We cut off taking submissions at the booth at 4 p.m. So we weren't letting people use our computers at 4. So we were having everybody submit all their comics on the mobile app or on mobile, get their submission QR code so they could do express submissions and move on. And at the point where we're like, we're never going to get these guys back to the booth, I'm like, let's make things easy. I'm sending it to Snyder's booth. I'm like, everybody fill out your submissions. Snyder's signing these books, add them to your submission, get your submission barcode so that I can just bag you, you're going to be tagged, and you can just express right through. A couple guys are like, man, I don't even remember what's in these bags. I've been collecting them all weekend. I'm like, well, the good thing for you is I'm allowed to open them. You can get them submitted, and then I can reseal them as soon as you're done. So I'm cutting people's bags, getting their stuff done, making sure they don't do anything to it, add them to a fresh bag, seal it, lock it. They've got submitted. Happy day. We finished up Sunday. Now, Sunday the con closes at 5. We finished up Snyder's booth at 5:15. Got everybody back to the booth for express submissions by 5:10 or 5:20. The booth still had like 100 people in the express submission line trying to fill out submission forms. Jim Lee experience was going long. They didn't finish the Jim Lee experience till almost 7 o'clock. So our guys were at the booth were still there at like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, getting things done Sunday. So, and that was really all on Fan Expo. Fan Expo oversold every single experience, every single photo op, every single celebrity autograph. Like everything they pre-sold, they oversold, and they don't like to give refunds, so they were just letting the convention run. They did everybody dirty, and they did a poor job of properly scheduling time and keeping things to the timing. Like Fan Expo failed us this year. But yeah, like I said, it was a great show. This was completely different than any other Megacon I've ever done. But every single person was just phenomenal. I even saw one of the handlers. They were having a breakdown. Like by Sunday, I saw one of the guys. I'm not going to say who. He was at the artist booth. The artist was running late, and he was freaking out. Like he was having after 4 days of just getting the living shit kicked out of him by customers that are like, I'm buying this book. I paid this money to be here. I paid for this experience. I need to get what I wanted. Like these guys, these customers were overgrown, entitled babies. Like some of these people, and I get it, okay? I understand that you also, as a customer, have spent a flipping wad of money to be here. Hotels starting at $250 a night, parking at another $30 to $50 a night at the hotel. Hotel restaurants at $25, $35 a meal, more than that, like $35 to $55 a meal. Your convention tickets at like $120 for a full weekend, like all the time in line. I get it. You guys spend a lot of money. You want your time as well. But these creators, these artists, these celebrities, they're just human too. Just because you see them on movies blow up buildings and take down helicopters with their bare hands and they draw these amazing characters that are invincible, they are fucking humans too. They have a breaking point as well. They can only do so much. And I think as customers, and I understand that you're spending all this money with them and they're making them money, but you're also flipping these books. Like, let's not bullshit with each other. You're flipping this as a business. Shut up. You're making money too. Like, you just have to be, at a certain point, you just have to realize it's just a book, it's just paper of a make-believe character that you're meeting the creator of, and you're getting to get an experience of, say, this person, got to shake their hand, created this other person that I really enjoy. Like, you have to have some level of compassion. No matter how much money you spent, it's only money. Let's be honest. You can't take the money with you. When you die, the comics are going to probably be sold at a garage sale for $1 because the people that you love you after you die don't know what the hell you have, and they flipped it because they're not here with you. So they're going to sell it. Like, guys, you have to be compassionate. You have to realize that these celebrities and these artists and these creators, they're just human too. They breathe just like you. We lost Chuck Norris this weekend during the convention. We lost an artist this weekend during the convention, like the creator of Max. He died on Saturday. Chuck Norris died on Friday. They're human, guys. We have a short time on this earth. Have fun. Enjoy it. get to meet your celebrities, get to meet your heroes, but they're human too. All right. So that's it. I do have plenty of other stories. I would love to continue. Matter of fact, let's just do it. Let's just run this out. We were waiting for Snyder. We went to Clayman's table. One of my clients had like 5 books that he wanted to get signed by Clayman. He's a big fan of Clayman. He was wearing the Mann Brothers T-shirt that's got like that new Batman logo on it with the Mann Brothers Cityscape. Look really cool T-shirt. Guy walks up. Clay's like, "You got one of my T-shirts." And apparently these T-shirts were hard to get, or you're a fan if you got the T-shirt. And Clay's like, signs all of his books like, no cost. If you come to my booth with one of my T-shirts, I don't charge you for autographs, CGC or not. And the guy was like, "Dude, like you gotta like I have your shirt because I support you." Clay's like, "You support me by having my shirt, by buying my product, like by being here." So they're having this great, just really good like conversation, like just connection. And there's a couple other guys also were like, "Oh, I didn't know about the shirt and how do you get it?" And they were all talking, but they all knew like Clay's work and they were talking about some of his older stuff. And all of a sudden, like Clay's like, "Dude, it's been such a long weekend." He's like, "You know what we need to celebrate? I'm going home here in a minute." Reaches under the table, breaks out this little black box that's like wrapped in like a garbage bag, taped up, rips it open. It's a freaking pack of beer. Clay hands out these beers. "Cheers to Comic-Con, you guys." Everybody's like, whoosh, cracks open beers. Cheers. They're all chugging beers with Clay, man. I've got some photos. I'm going to share it with you guys. The dude's like, "What a fucking experience." And I'm like, that is a crazy thing to witness. Last year it was Delato and Todd McFarlane fanboying over Gabriel Delato. Like, that was an experience. Having Clay Mann break out a beer and cheers with his fans, like share a beer with his fans, that's an experience. Like, this is the type of shit the Comic-Cons are supposed to be. They're not supposed to be high stress, yell, bitch, moan, complain, be entitled. No. Celebrate the art, celebrate the comics, celebrate the creators, the celebrities, celebrate your friends and family and the people around you that are also here for the comics. Like, celebrate, enjoy it, relax. At the end of the day, they're just books. At the end of the day, it's just money. At the end of the day, it's fun. All right, guys, what a hell of a long video, but what of a hell of a long weekend. I'm going to go get in another nap. Yeah, so hopefully I'll see you guys at Tampa in September. Spookala is coming up. Maybe we'll get to do JSA there. If you see me at one of the cons, come up, let me know you watch my videos. Come up, tell me what things you'd love to see different in my videos. Who knows? Maybe we'll get you to be a witness yourself and you can enjoy this fun as well and play Comic-Con bingo like I do. All right, guys. As always, like, share, follow, subscribe, and let me know what you think. If you were at Megacon, tell me what happened to you on Saturday because, man. All right, y'all.